Welcome to Skio Insights first episode. Today we would like to introduce you the Swiss Skio library. Background of the Swiss Skio library. In the sport of orienteering, it is difficult to understand the performance due to the complexity of the sport. The outcome of a result is built on physical performance, orienteering technical performance, mental performance, and in ski and bike orienteering nevertheless also on the effective function of a material, so an environmental performance. In every competition we face ourselves as a result, defined by a rank expressed in a number. And if not happen to be the winner, also the time loss expressing the gap to the very best in place in this sport. And this is where the work of every athlete or coach starts. Ease situation. What makes us who we are? Goals. Who do we want to become? Or the process, what does it need to become? The questions are pretty simple to find and for everyone the same. But to move towards goals, it is always about the answers, and they are as unique as each one of us. In August 2017, I got the responsibility for a team of 14 athletes to support them finding their unique personal answers. How am I supposed to do that? I didn't know. And honestly, I still don't know. But here is the way I try to figure it out. Ease situation. What makes us who we are? To figure that out, I try to fit all the answers you get in sport, called results, to one database. And I called it the Swiss Skio library. It records the results of all World Skio Championships, European Skio Championships, Junior World Skio Championships, and also Youth Skio European Champs. There is recorded the winner, top 3, top 10, top 20, and top 30 level. The results of the best 3 Swiss athletes are also recorded, and the number of participating Swiss athletes at the event. Note, results are always a neutral answer, so an outside view, and has nothing to do with how they got to that result. It's just a dry expression of the outcome. I also needed to know the results are recorded in percentages lost to the winner. That because we want to observe the outcome or the result as neutral as possible. If we would just take the ranks, so the places we have achieved, it would depend much more also on the performance of other athletes. So if you have a competition where only one of the top athletes succeeds, or several of top athletes, by example, have a material defect, it would express a different result in place, but not in the time lost to the winner. So that's the reason why we record in this library the statistics in lost percentages to the winner. The following example will show the ease situation of the Swiss Skio elite team. It's separated to women's class and men's class, and we in particularly observe the results of the sprint distance and the middle distance from World Skio Championship. As we are heading into a new season without international long distance competitions, middle and sprint seems to be the most of interest due to a new WOC program. So, and this is how the graphic looks like. You can see the black lines and the red lines. The black lines closest to the bottom, so closest to 0%, are the top 3 results expressed in percentages. Then second line from the bottom in black, top 10, top 20, and on the highest, top 30. The red lines, obviously, the Swiss results. What do they tell us? So the sprint discipline, it's the youngest of our 3 disciplines, individual disciplines, exists only since 2002. And we can see that the level from 2002 to 2013, the top 20 level in women's class sprint distance, has definitely increased. We can see that the 3 black lines, top 3 to top 20, are moving closer together. So the density and quality of the athletes has definitely increased. Then 2015 to 2020, we can see that mainly the bottom line, or the line of the third place actually, moves further away from the 0% line. That shows clearly that there has been athletes which have defined a new level of top ski-orienteering. And also 2017 to 2019, unfortunately we can see that the top 30 line has ended. It means that there has been less female athletes than 30 participants. Now we observe also the red lines, what is the most interest for the Swiss team, of course. From 2002 to 2004, Swiss women team has had more than 3 athletes. From 2004 to 2013, there has been only 2 athletes remaining, but developing from a level of top 25 to a level of top 10. And from 2015 to 2019, the Swiss women's level and athletes has unfortunately disappeared. What is also to see in this graphic, that the level of Swiss athletes moves always very synchrone. Now we move on to the middle distance. Let's see if the theses are confirmed from the sprint, or if they are related to each other. The middle distance discipline is held since 1988, so much longer history, more interesting to observe as well. So from 1988 to 2019, the level of top 20 athletes is also visible here, that it is increasing. We can see it that the, let's say, 3 lowest black lines are tendentially rather moving towards 0 and definitely moving closer together. Then 2017 to 2019, also here it is visible that the level of the very top of females competition have increased the level, as the 0% line has a bigger gap to the 3rd place percentages lost. And 2017 to 2019, also here there has been less than 30 female participants. What about the red lines? 1992 to 2004, the Swiss women team has more than 3 athletes. 2004 to 2013, 2 athletes are remaining, and also here developing a level from top 20 to a top 15 level. So here the improvement is rather smaller than in the sprint. And third understanding of that graphic for the Swiss team, Swiss women's level and athletes disappear from 2015 to 2019. But also here it's obvious that the level of Swiss athletes moves always very synchrone. So the red lines are rather parallel, or even very parallel. Let's observe the men's situation. Also here first the sprint discipline. If we observe the black lines, we could say that from 2002 to 2019 the level of ski-orienteering in men's class is rather constant. The level from 2009 to 2013 seems to be the most dense, so where the top 30 were the closest to each other. And 2015 to 2019 the level of top 20 decreases from top 10 to from 10% time lost to almost 15% time lost. I would not my interpretation of that is that the level of the top 10 athletes, where the line is actually rather stable, and also top 3 even closer to 0, has improved, then I would not express that the level of top 30 or top 20 has decreased. What about the red lines? 2002 to 2015, Swiss man team has more than 3 athletes performing. From 2015 to 2019, one constant remaining athlete develops from a level 10% time lost to a level of 5% time lost. But also from 15 to 2019, Swiss men's level and athletes rather disappear. What is different to the women's here, we can see that the level of Swiss athletes moves much less synchrone, so rather more independent. This has most probably also to do that in the men's team several athletes are studying and living abroad, and the training environment is more separated from each other than it was or is in women's class. The middle distance analysis for men. Also here we can see the black lines from 2002 to 2019. Men's middle distance orienteering level is pretty constant. Then also from 2005 to 2007 we can see that the level was about the most dense. The black lines are the closest to each other in that period. And also, that was also in women's class before, what wasn't mentioned, 2015 and 2019 the competition was held in a mass start competition, what causes that the results or the percentages time lost are actually much smaller. So the density is higher in a mass start competition. What about the red lines? 88 to 2004, Swiss man team has always more than 3 athletes performing, and they develop a level from a top 40 to a top 15 quality. 2005 to 2019, the level of Swiss top athletes still improves, but 13 to 19 Swiss men athletes disappear. So much less participating, and also a smaller team in fact in the men's elite class than earlier years. And also here it's obvious that the level of Swiss athletes moves very asynchron, so pretty independent development. A summary of the East situation for the Swiss national team. Women, obviously, that teamwork has a main influence on their level, but improving only as a team also means setting limits of standards only as high as the standards of the team. In men's class, self-responsibility has brought them further and developed the level, but also let them stuck in their development as individual and as a team. What do we get from this analysis? Well, all in all, it is a first step to understand better who we have become. it is us facing a mirror, and we have to understand and accept it, as it is all we have to work with. This type of result and fact-based analysis, it's always a very neutral and outside view based analysis. So this has been some of our personal answers, but anyways, no progress without action. So our goal, who do we want to become? We dream to become a nation that has a word to speak if we talk about the medals. Therefore, we see our responsibility for the team to educate and demand a high level of self-responsibility and promotion to increase the performance density within the team. Gather knowledge and form wisdom to set the standards higher and improve the top performance of individuals. In the Swiss ski-orienteering team, we are expressing goals, or we try to express goals in the psychology expressed goal setting SMARTER. SMARTER stands for S, specific, so a clear definition that leaves no space for interpretation. M for measurable, and the results or datas or facts. A common system to measure defined goals. So I think therefore this library is a very good background or base to build on a goal. Then also attractive and accepted. The goal has to come from your own will, as you need to understand the consequences of your decision to commit for what you want. Or for realistic, your goal has to challenge you in the way you really have to show the best of yourself to work it out. And the goal also needs to be timed. It's not an open-end process. We need to understand that the personal process of your development ends in a one-time chance. So also our best years, by example, are not extended for up to 50-year-old. So yeah, it needs to have a horizon when the goal needs to be achieved. Maybe the little bit less known expressions, E and R in the end of SMART, so SMARTER. We also try to express our goals E, enthusiastic. So a connection, a personal bond that defines the relation between you and your goal as something unique, can be a decisive difference in the end if it's about everyone has a SMART goal. So if you have a more personal and better reason that bends you to your goal, it can increase your will to do the needed last step to really succeed. And R, the last one, it's also important to register your goals. If something is written down or also communicated and shared with each other, then we see much more our responsibility and the psychological point. Make sure that you stand for the goal and it's present. So to express the goal for the national ski team of Switzerland, we offer an environment that educates and develops elite athletes who commit to their goal within 5 years, from top 30 to a constant top 10 performance. Right now the situation in percentage for women it's about 20%, and for men it's from 15 to 25%. And our goal is to bring that level in women's class to 8% lost to the world's top, and in men to 5% lost to the world's top. Anyway, library is always only as good as its books. So we have to perform this process of the Gion library also introduced in the team athletes book, and that should educate athletes in a way to let them understand it is their chance of being responsible, to take a pen to your own hand and write the story you want to tell. If you're interested in the continuing system of the Swiss Gion library, so the athletes book, then be welcome to join our next episode next week on ski-orienteering.com. I hope you enjoyed this first presentation, and I would be glad to see you next week back on the same channel. Bye!